Yes. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. So you can see the presentations as well.
Yes, sir.
So this is our first chapter, the production management. The topic, the entire name of the subject is production and total quality management. And the book you can refer for examination. You can take Vipul's ka book VMS, author of Prerna Sharma and Parvin Nagpal. This book is much more easier, okay, to read to understand the concept of production management. If you uh, s- if you're able to see, if you're able to make sure that whatever lectures was happening, okay, uh, the subject is not that simple. See, it is depends upon how you attend the lecture and how you understand the concept. It is not that much difficult, but you need to make sure that what wherever it is required, you need to focus on the concepts, how the concepts are. Okay, more or less this entire subject is depending upon the manufacturing industry, how the manufacturing industry is working, how the entire process of making a raw material into the finished product. That is how it is explained in this entire subject. So the most important part for every organization is to make sure that whatever goods and services they are manufacturing, they should manufacture as per the quality or as per the standard required in a market, or it is required to the customers. तो हर एक कंपनी का सबसे बेसिक मोटो होता है कि we need to make sure that whatever product and services are offering to our customers, that should be as per the quality. There should not be any kind of compromise in the quality of the product and services. Okay, you need to also make sure that whatever the production cost will be incurred, जो प्रोडक्शन कॉस्ट लगेगा एक प्रोडक्ट को बनाने के लिए, वो सबसे से कम होना चाहिए. ओके, अगर मैं एक स्टेपलर बना रहा हूँ, एक पेन बना रहा हूँ, एक रबर बना रहा हूँ, ये कंप्यूटर बना रहा हूँ, या मैं एक मास्क बना रहा हूँ, तो you need to make sure that the production cost of this thing or this product and services should be very minimal. So if you talk about like introduction part, it is a process by which the raw material and the other input undergoes transforming processes are converted into the finished product. So in a very simple terminology, when I talk about the production management, the production management has a various functional areas that undergoes to a transformation process, and it converts the raw material into the finished goods. तो एक साइड से आपके सारे रॉ मटेरियल सारे मशीन्स में इनपुट होंगे, and at the other part of the machines it will slowly and gradually get convert with the help of the chemical and mechanical process. The entire process will get converted into the finished products. It is very much important for the organizations to make sure that you fulfill all the things in a proper way. Okay, the most important part that we also understands that the whatever chemical and the mechanical process is implemented, it should as per the standards. Okay, you cannot you should make that, you should make sure that कि जो भी आप टेक्नोलॉजीज यूटिलाइज करोगे, जो भी मेथड्स यूटिलाइज करोगे, जो भी मटेरियल्स यूटिलाइज करोगे, वो अच्छे क्वालिटी का होना चाहिए. अगर आपका इनपुट घटिया क्वालिटी का होगा तो आपको आउटपुट भी घटिया क्वालिटी का ही मिलेगा. इफ योर इनपुट्स आर ऑफ वेरी गुड क्वालिटी, the raw materials of a good quality, 100% you will get the good qualities of output. So you need to make sure that कि whatever step by step conversions आपके होते हैं, वो सारे चीज as per quality होने चाहिए. That is more important. Now, also the Edward Buffer has given a definition, a process by which the goods and services are created. This is the definition given by the Edward Buffer. There are various definitions are also there. For example, the production management is the process of effective planning and regulating the operations of that sections of an enterprise, which is responsible for the actual transformations of material into the finished good. It is the definition given by Mr. E. L. Bridge. Okay, So this is the various definitions are available into the book onto the internet. Okay, if if tomorrow physical examinations अगर आपके होते हैं and you have to come down to the institute to give your physical examination, you need to make sure that whatever definitions you write in your answer sheet, it should be as per the definition given by the author. अगर आप ऑथर का नाम वहाँ पे मेंशन कर रहे हो, you need to make sure that कि word by word whatever you have written in your answer sheet, it should be as per the author. So definition is very important. So when you talk about like introduction part, you also can write a small introduction about the question, whatever question is asked to you. For example, what is production management? So you can give a small introduction and then you can come to the definition part and then you can come towards the main answer part. And you can also give a small conclusion of the entire question. So production and operation management. We'll move ahead with the another concept of productions and operations management. Production management refers to the applications of management principles to the production functions in manufacturing unit. For example, planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. I guess this four concept or the four functions you have already learned into the principles of management subject, which is to be happen in semester 1 or 2. Okay, in your first year. I think I hope you have studied this subject. So planning, organizing, directing, and controlling are the four major functions of management. Okay, that is more important. And if someone has asked you कि what is the management? Management अभी तक तो आपको पता ही होगा management is the art of doing things from other people in right time. Okay, but अगर मुझे मैनेजमेंट वर्ड को डिवाइड करना है किसी तीन पार्ट में, आई हैव टू डिवाइड द वर्ड मैनेजमेंट इन थ्री पार्ट. So I'll divide into manage, men, and the last part is T. Okay, so the most important part into the manufacturing sector is to make sure that you need to utilize your resources to the maximum level. For that, human resource is one of the most important assets, or you can say the most important resources utilized inside the organization. So you need to manage your men in time. The T stands for time. Okay, so you have to complete your work, you have to complete and deliver that work in time. That is the actual meaning of your management. Okay, that is the most important part. Now there are various objectives are also mentioned about the production management. First objective is the right quality. Now anyone can tell what is right quality. Anyone can just guess what is right quality. No. What is right quality? Okay, right quality is something, it is not of a best quality. Okay, right quality का basic meaning होता है whatever amount you are incurring with respect to product and services, that's said to be the right quality. For example, iPhones का अगर आप आज purchase करने जाए iPhone 13, you have Pro, you have Pro Max. Okay, there are n numbers of features are there. You have 128 GB, 256 GB, 512 GB. ओके, तो हर एक हायर जीबी का आपका कॉस्ट अलग होगा. तो अप्रॉक्सीमेटली अगर मैं एक आईफोन की बात करूँ तो इट्स कम्स अराउंड लाइक 1.5 lakhs, 1.5 लाख का एक फ़ोन है. ओके, इंडिया में. तो इफ़ आई गो एंड परचेज 512 GB का फ़ोन, तो it will cost to around like 1,40,000, 1,45,000, whatever the price. But they charge you a suchly high expenditure amount because the right quality is given to you. Apple charge you for this amount because they are giving you in return a right quality. You will not give same amount of money to Oppo और Vivo या Realme और Redmi के जो phones हैं, इनको आप इतने पैसे नहीं भरोगे because the quality of such kind of phones is around 10,000, 15,000 or maximum 20, 25,000. Depends upon the quality. So the right quality will define the right amount. कि बाबा एक चाइना फ़ोन है तो चाइना फ़ोन का प्राइस कितना होना चाहिए, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 और 10,000. But today if I'm purchasing Samsung phone, okay, that will be the A70, A50, M52, okay, Galaxy, whatever. Depends upon the quality of the product and services the company charge you. around like 50,000, 60,000. So the definition of a quality is that ki you are trying to give the best quality. Okay, it determines by the cost of product and the technical characteristics which are suited to a specific requirement. Second, you have a right quantity. Right quantity is something like the organization should produce the product in a right number. That is more important. The companies never ever should go for excessive production. कंपनी कभी भी excessive productions में नहीं जाना चाहिए, and they should make sure that कि वो shortage भी नहीं होना चाहिए, कम भी produce नहीं करना चाहिए. Always you need to make sure that there should be an optimum resources, optimum making of your production. If you are having an excessive production, it will turn into inventory, and the capital, the money, the finance of the company will get blocked. Okay, and on the other part, if you're manufacturing the lesser quantities of the production services, it can bring shortage in a market. तो अगर मार्केट में शॉर्टेज हुआ तो आपके राइवल कंपनीज का सेल्स बढ़ जाएगा. तो यू नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट कि वॉट एवर डिमांड एंड सप्लाई इज रिक्वायर्ड इन अ मार्केट, यू नीड टू फुलफिल दैट. आप थोड़ा स्टैंड बाय पे थोड़ा सा माल आपके गोडाउन में रख सकते हो, लेकिन आप ह्यूज क्वांटिटी में प्रोडक्शन बना के नहीं रख सकते. अगर आपने ह्यूज क्वांटिटी में प्रोडक्शन बना के रख लिया तो आपका जो कॉस्ट है, जो आपका आपने पैसे लगाए हैं सारे चीज बनाने के लिए, वो सारे पैसे आपके ब्लॉक हो जाएंगे वहाँ पे. और अगर आपने कम बना लिए तो आपका मार्केट में शॉर्टेज हो जाएगा, एंड इन दैट शॉर्टेज ऑफ द पीरियड the rival company will ensure that they will make the higher sales. So that is more important. So manufacturing of your production should be in a right quantity. Third, time. Time is very much important. Okay, you need to deliver the goods and services in right time. Okay, if you are not fulfilling that goods and services or product and service in right time to the customer, then it will be of no use. अगर आपने सही, अगर शादी है, शादी में अगर आपने किसी कॉन्ट्रैक्टर को या कैटरिंग वाले को आपने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया खाने का, अगर वो कैटरिंग वाला बंदा शादी के वक्त खाना डिलीवर नहीं कर पाया, there's no meaning of that having that food after the marriage getting over. Okay, so there is no meaning. You need to make sure that whatever deadlines, the deadlines is required to be fulfilled. That is more important. So there should not be any kinds of delays, there should not be any kinds of waiting time, or there should not be any kind of idle time. Okay, the most important is that you need to deliver things in a very proper way and in a very perfect timings. Then you have right manufacturing cost. Now, what is the manufacturing cost? Whatever cost is incurred, okay, to produce the actual product and services, that is said to be your manufacturing cost. अगर मैं एक पेन बना, for example, cello gripper है, cello gripper pen as a market value is 10 rupees, but the manufacturing cost including marketing, storage, warehouse, transportation, अगर एक पेन की कॉस्ट 3 रुपीज़ है तो वो 3 रुपीज़ आपके actual manufacturing cost bola jayega. And at what price we are purchasing at 10 rupees. That is your selling price. So there's a difference between the manufacturing price and a selling price. You need to make sure that you need to calculate before producing the actual product. The production management has a responsibility to make sure that you should establish what is the actual price of your product. आपको आपका फिजिकल प्रोडक्ट बनाने से पहले आपको उस प्रोडक्ट की प्राइस की जानकारी होना बहुत ज़रूरी है. यू नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट कि वॉट एवर price you are charging or whatever price will be incurred to manufacturing the product for the customer. So I have given a small example of the pen, but there are n numbers of products are available in the market. For example, car is one of the bigger product which is there in the market. So it is very much important for the organizations to make sure that what is the actual manufacturing cost of a product. मुझे अगर एक कार बनानी है तो ये कार बनाने के लिए मुझे एग्जैक्टली कितना कॉस्ट इंकर्ड होगा, ये मुझे पहले पता होनी चाहिए. फॉर एग्जांपल, टोयोटा इनोवा का बेसिक प्राइस है 15 lakhs, बट आई हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट इज द एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ मैचिंग अराउंड लाइक 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs और 7 lakhs जो भी रहेगा वो मुझे पता होनी चाहिए. So then you can think about the selling price. You should always know what is the right manufacturing cost. Then you need to minimize the total cost of production. The most important, you need to reduce the total cost of production. See, when there is a continuous production happens in a manufacturing industry or in a factory, these elements eliminate the either whatever reduce the wastages जो होता है companies में with respect to raw material, it is reduced. So it helps the organizations to eliminate the non-value items, and at the same time it also improves the labor productivity on the productions of a shop floor. तो जो भी आपके लेबर से उनका प्रोडक्शन सिस्टम्स बढ़ जाता है शॉप फ्लोर्स पे, ओके, एंड दी you get the good amount of productivity. The maximum productivity you have, the lesser amounts of wastages happen inside the organization. That is more important. Then maximizing the utilizations of manpower and other resources. Now you need to make sure that whatever resources you are utilizing inside the organization, okay, manpower is none other than your human resource, the employees of an organization. एम्प्लॉयज को जितना आप निचोड़ सकते हो उतना निचोड़ने का ट्राई करो. ओके, यू नीड टू यूटिलाइज द मैक्सिमम thing, the maximum output you can get from the employees that can be seen by the organizations. And the other resources, comes like renewable resources, non-renewable resources such as petrol, diesel, machineries, electricity. ये जितना आप उसको अच्छी तरीके से इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं, that is more important for the organizations. If you have successfully utilized your human resource, you will really get a good output. See, एक बेसिक थंब रूल है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में, जितना ज़्यादा प्रोडक्शन होगा उतना ही सेलिंग कॉस्ट कम होता है. जितना कॉस्ट है, जितना मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कम होगा, सेलिंग कॉस्ट का प्राइस उतना ही बढ़ेगा. तो जितना आप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करते रहोगे उतना ही प्राइस उसका हमेशा कम होगा. दैट इज वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट. Okay, so these are the objectives of the productions and management. Any doubt in this? Everything is clear with the objectives of the production management? Okay, I hope
Yes, sir.
it is clear. Okay,
Yes.
we'll move forward with the scope of the production functions. First, you have a product selection and a design. So the most important and a basic function for a manufacturing industry is to select the right product. Okay, right product and the design of the product. डिज़ाइन मतलब अगर आप सुबह सुबह उठते हो, यू गेट अप एंड यू गो टू बाथरूम, ओके, यू गो टू वॉशरूम, एंड अब जब आप नहाने जाते हो तो यू हैव अ कोलगेट इन योर हैंड. तो कोलगेट का अगर आप देखोगे तो रेड कलर में है, ग्रीन कलर में है, ब्लू कलर में है. सम पीपल माइट यूज पेप्सोडेंट, सम पीपल माइट यूज क्लोजअप. तो द डिज़ाइन ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट इज ऑल्सो वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. इट शुड बी आई अपीलिंग. जो भी आपका प्रोडक्ट है वो आपका आई अपीलिंग होना चाहिए. तो यू शुड लुक गुड. The product should look good, okay, while utilizing the product by the customers. Okay, you take soap, you take shampoos are very much good. Okay, जब आप नहाते हो तो when you utilize that shampoo, the fragrance which comes out while utilizing the shampoo plays a very important role. Okay, the color of a shampoo, okay, then the fragrance, it should not be too what you say, it's a mint flavor का कोई शैम्पू होता है तो mint flavor ऑलरेडी आपका सर दर्द करेगा या आपको स्नीजनिंग के लिए it might lead to a sneezing to you, you might get cold. Okay, तो you also need to also understand कि ये सारे factors भी मेरे को मेरे product selection में डालने हैं. That is very much critical thing. Okay, this helps to survive in a market. If a company has to survive in a market and become a successful in market, this research, this thorough research, they have to always do. And most importantly, they need to do a continuous evaluation, and you also have the alternate products available with you. मेरे पास लक्स है सोप, तो मेरे पास मोती साबुन भी होना चाहिए. तो मेरे पास रियल भी है, लाइफ बॉय भी है, तो आई हैव एन अल्टरनेट ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल विथ मी। तो अगर मेरा कोई एक साबुन नहीं चल रहा है तो मेरे पास कोई दूसरा ऑप्शन भी अवेलेबल होना चाहिए। यू व्हेन यू कम फॉर अ ब्रेकफास्ट यू हैव अ टी, व्हाइल हैविंग अ टी यू हैव बिस्किट्स, so you might go for bourbon, you might go for good day, okay, you might go for britannia, you might go for cream biscuit, you might go for sunfish. So there are lots of options available with you. तो अगर आपको लग रहा है कि हाँ दिस बिस्किट इज वेरी गुड, तो यू ट्राई एंड परचेज द सेम बिस्किट अगेन एंड अगेन. Second, the packaging of that biscuit, how the biscuit looks like, okay, the design of the biscuit, everything plays a very important role. ये छोटे मोटे चीज आपको लगते हैं कि इस इतना क्या ध्यान देना, बट नहीं, जब आप उसको ओपन करते हो और उसको यूटिलाइज करते हो तो ये सारा चीज बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले करता है. सो प्रोडक्ट सिलेक्शन एंड इस डिजाइन इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. Research and development department puts crores of rupees on designing of the outer packet of the product and services. जो भी आप प्रोडक्ट्स मार्केट में खरीदते हैं उसके आउटर का जो डिजाइनिंग होता है, कलरिंग होता है, या उसमें कुछ भी चेंजेस लाना होता है, ग्राफिकल चेंजेस, company puts crores of rupees on this research and design. How we can attract the customers towards yourself. Okay, that is very much important. If you go to any of the departmental stores, you can see n numbers of different designs of the product and services on their labels. ओके, अगर आप बेबी प्रोडक्ट्स परचेस कर रहे हो तो बेबी का फोटो होगा, स्माइलिंग बेबी का फोटो होगा, सम प्रोडक्ट्स पे बेबी एंड मदर का फोटो होगा. तो ये सारा चीज होता है. सेकेंड, इफ यू आर परचेसिंग ऑयल, फॉर एग्जांपल सफोला ले रहे हो, फॉर्चून ले रहे हो, जेमिनी ले रहे हो, तो यू कैन सी हर्ट का वहाँ पे पिक्चर होगा, लो कोलेस्ट्रॉल, okay, very good for the health. So this time this is how they do good amount of marketing of their products. So product design is very much important, that is you need to understand. Then selection of the production process, how the production, the it is the responsibility of a production manager that what kind of production process we gonna utilize into the organizations to make the good output. इसका मतलब होता है कि you need to take a decision regarding the type of technologies you gonna utilized. हार्ड एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी या उसके थोड़ा सा नीचे वाला या एकदम हाईली एडवांस अवेलेबल इन अ मार्केट, which kind of machineries you're gonna utilize in a organizations. Okay, n numbers of machines are available in a market, तो वो आप कौन सा utilize करोगे. Material handling systems are also available inside the organ, for example forks, crane, okay. Trolleys are also there, so n numbers of running belts are also available into the market. So it depends upon the organizations what kind of manufacturing processes you are really we're gonna select to your manufacturing process. That is very much important. Then selecting the plant location. Okay, the plant location is very much important कि आपका जो plant है वो plant कहाँ पे होना चाहिए. See, in a very simple terminologies, आपका जो plant location है या जो manufacturing industry है वो market से ज़्यादा दूर नहीं होना चाहिए. The market से ज़्यादा दूर क्यों नहीं होना चाहिए? Because the transportation costs get saved. And if tomorrow there is a shortage in a market of your product and services, you can immediately fill your trailers, you can fill your tempos, trucks with your material, and you can send that material into the market immediately. तो अभी आपको ये देखना है कि आपका जो प्लांट लोकेशन है वो मार्केट से दूर रहना चाहिए, इतना भी दूर नहीं रहना चाहिए कि उसको वहां पे पहुंचने के लिए कम से कम 12-15 घंटा लगे. नो, maximum 2 hours. For example, you have a manufacturing setups in Bhiwandi, okay, or a Bhiwandi bypass, which is a center point for Kalyan, Dombivli, as well center point for Thane and Bombay. तो अगर मैं दोनों जगह पे भी जाऊं तो मुझे 2-2 घंटा लगता जाने के लिए. अगर मैं बॉम्बे साइड भी जा रहा हूँ तो मुझे 2 घंटा लगेगा, मगर कल्याण डोंबे साइड आ रहा हूँ तो 2 घंटा लगेगा, अगर मैं नासिक साइड जा रहा हूँ तो 2 घंटा लगेगा. So it is center point for the organizations where I can keep, I can restore, I can have a warehouse where if the shortage in a market, I can immediately send the products to the market immediately. तो प्लांट लोकेशन इज वेरी मच इम्पॉर्टेंट. तो यू नीड टू मेक श्योर दैट कि बाबा आपका प्लांट थोड़ा सा मार्केट से नज़दीक होगा तो आपके लिए बेनिफिशियल होगा और आपके लिए वो एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं होगा एज कंपेयर टू द others. Then you should also understand the plant layout and material handling. Plant layout मतलब होता है कि the inside how the plant is layout. Okay, how from where the raw material get inside the organization, what is the way and what is the process the raw material will be follow. That is very much important. You need to configure of your departments, you need to work on your centers, the various equipment should be lined up which will be help into the conversion process. Okay, the entire floor plan should be available with you, the various physical facilities, which machine should be set up where, कौन सा मशीन कहाँ पर सेटअप होना चाहिए, वो एक सीक्वेंस में होना चाहिए. तो प्रोसेस 1 is completed, then process 2, process 3, process 4, and you have a final process. So this should be always in a sequence, in a line. Then it will save your time and the production capacity will also get increases. So you need to understand how it is working. At the same time, material handling. So material handling is none other than it is an art of storing your material inside your organization. See, हर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनीज में छोटा सा वेयर हाउस होता है. Okay, the company also has a bigger warehouse outside in different location, but still they also has a warehouse with them from where they can transport their material, they can shift their material into the trailers or tempos and they can dispatch to the market. So in short, it is a storing area, it is protecting and it is basically controlling material use with the production process. So it involves in preparation, placing and positionings of the material to facilitate their movement, or you can say a storage. So movements of material from one place to the other place. You might have seen small forks has been utilized into the organization. छोटे ट्रक्स होते हैं, फोक लिफ्टर्स होते हैं, छोटे छोटे क्रेन्स होते हैं जो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह पे छोटे जो आपके फिनिश प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं वो डिस्पैच करते हैं. So it will bring from manufacturing unit to the storage, and from there it will be gets dispatched to the other locations. So it is very much important for the organizations to make sure that the layout should be formed in a proper way. अगर आपका layout properly form नहीं होगा तो it ultimately it will lead to the time. The time will be get increased. Okay. Secondly, material handling. See, once the product is ready, you need to take utmost care to make sure that कि इसको कोई भी किसी भी तरह का डैमेज नहीं होना चाहिए. A single scratch on your product, it will go on to the waste. So you need to handle the materials very efficiently. Then you need to also have the right production capacity. Production capacity is something like how much the organization has a capacity to produce the goods. आपके कंपनी के पास कितनी क्षमता है किसी भी तरह का प्रोडक्शन करने के लिए. Secondly, again I am repeating the same thing, you should not produce more things, you should not have excessive manufacturing of your product and services. Again, you are blocking your capital, you will block your finance because you have manufactured more than the requirement. Okay, requirement 100 का था और आपने बनाया 150. तो ये जो 50 आपने एक्स्ट्रा जो बनाया है उसके लिए जो पैसा लगा वो पैसा आपने ब्लॉक कर दिया. अगेन आपका रिक्वायरमेंट 100 का था लेकिन आपने बनाया 85. तो देयर इज शॉर्टेज ऑफ 15 प्रोडक्ट्स. दिस 15 प्रोडक्ट्स अगर आपने टाइम में मार्केट में उसको भेजा नहीं, आपकी राइवल कंपनी इसका फायदा उठा सकती है. So again, you need to make sure that there should not be a shortage in the market. Again, you should not have the surplus. You should not have the excessive manufacturing of your product and service. It will block your capital. So you should also always have the optimum manufacturing of your products and services. So the manager of an organization always has to make the planning. Okay, they should always have a short term and long term production. उनके पास दोनों प्लान अवेलेबल होना चाहिए, शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान एज वेल एज इट ऑल्सो हैज अ लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान. तो यू कैन वर्क ऑन इट कि बाबा हाँ ये शॉर्ट टर्म प्लान के लिए ठीक है, ये प्रोडक्ट लॉन्ग टर्म प्लान के लिए ठीक है, बिकॉज नो कंपनी विल रिमेन इन अ मार्केट विद अ सिंगल प्रोडक्ट. Every company has almost 5 to 6 different products and services offered to the customers. हर कंपनी 3 से 4, 5 से 6 अलग अलग तरीके के व्हाट यू से प्रोडक्ट्स बनाती है और कस्टमर्स को ऑफर होता है. दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. Then you have production planning. Production planning is the very first step of the manufacturing industry. आप किसी भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग इंडस्ट्री में जाओ, यू विल गेट द प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग डिपार्टमेंट. ओके, यू गो टू एनी, अगर आप छोटे से छोटे कंपनी में भी जाओगे तो आपको प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग का डिपार्टमेंट मिलेगा. The role and responsibilities of this department is to make sure that ki when we are gonna start with our production and when we will end our production, इनके पास सारी डेट्स अवेलेबल्स होती हैं कि हम 1 दिसंबर 2021 को हमारा प्रोडक्शन चालू करेंगे और जो क्वांटिटी क्लाइंट को रिक्वायरमेंट है वो क्वांटिटी के हिसाब से वी कैन फिनिश आर प्रोडक्शन बाय 25 जनवरी 2022. तो मेरे पास ऑलमोस्ट 2 महीना है, 2 महीने में मुझे सारा चीज़ बनाना है. एंड दे विल कीप दिस थिंग विथ द बैकअप. बैकअप मतलब 2022 तक ये माल मुझे कुछ भी करके कार्गो करके आई हैव टू सेंड इट टू द पोर्ट, जहाँ पे शिप्स होते हैं या एयरपोर्ट्स होते हैं जहाँ पे कार्गो लोडिंग होता है, अनलोडिंग होता है, वहाँ पे ये ट्रेलर पहुँचना चाहिए. In this I have to make the planning that these goods and services which what we got order from the client, it should reach to them before time. And you need to at least keep 15 days for traveling. Okay, शिप यहाँ से निकला और आपको क्लाइंट को भेजना है जापान, जापान भेजना है, सिंगापुर भेजना है, मलेशिया भेजना है, जहाँ भी भेजना है, तो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि फ्रॉम विच शिप इट विल गो. तो वो शिप का रूट कैसा है, वो किस तरह से जाएगा, हाउ मच टाइम इट विल टेक टू रीच टू जापान, हाउ मच टाइम इट विल टेक टू रीच टू मलेशिया. ओके, तो वहाँ पे जाने के बाद वो सारा चीज़ लोडिंग अनलोडिंग में भी टाइम जाता है. देन इट फ्रॉम द ट्रेलर विल गो फ्रॉम देयर टू द कंसर्न क्लाइंट. So almost you should have this 15 days backup with you to make sure that the container or whatever product and services you are manufacturing, it will reach to your client on time. That is more important. For that, the production planning department works day in day out. That is more important. So routing something like the path of work, the sequence of operations, okay, how the operations will takes place, what is the best objectives of routine to make sure that the most economical way, सबसे कम पैसे में हम इसको किस तरह से मैन्युफैक्चर कर सकते हैं, दैट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड. Okay, then scheduling means you need to decide the time frame. As I said कि हम कब चालू करेंगे, ये कब खत्म होगा, that's come under your scheduling. तो production planning department has a major responsibility to give this date to shop floor. सी प्लानिंग तो पेपर पे होता है और ये पेपर सारा चीज़ हर डिफरेंट डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट में सप्लाई होगा. तो सप्लाई होने के बाद फॉर एग्जांपल इनपुट डिपार्टमेंट में कब चालू होगा, उसके बाद पेंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट में, अगर मैं एक कार की बात करूं तो कार का सीक्वेंस किस तरह से होगा वो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. तो इनपुट में अगर मुझे बाहर का ढांचा बनाना है, आई हैव टू मेक द आउटर पार्ट ऑफ द कार, तो इट विल गो फ्रॉम फर्स्ट डिपार्टमेंट, देन इट विल गो टू सेकंड डिपार्टमेंट for painting, third department it will go for assembling of the engine, assembling of a tire, the interior of the vehicle, seating arrangements, okay, the sound, everything it will go. Then fourth it will go for quality inspection, fifth it will go for final inspection of the product and services, and sixth department ये आपका गोडाउन में जाएगी गाड़ी. तो एवरी डिपार्टमेंट विल गेट दैट पेपर कि मेरे डिपार्टमेंट में ये गाड़ी कब आएगी, कौन से डेट पे आएगी और मेरे पास कितना टाइम है कि आई कैन यूटिलाइज दैट टाइम टू डू माई वर्क. ओके, so major time takes for painting and major also time takes to assemble the vehicle. Okay, assembling the engine, fitting all the things inside the car, this time this is the things which always takes times. तो प्रोडक्शन प्लानिंग हैज टू मेक श्योर दैट कि ये सारा चीज टाइम पे होना चाहिए. Then you have to have a production control. Production control is none other than to have the right quality standards to be followed by the organization. Okay, the standard quality and the actual quality. Okay, the performance is very much important. Are we going as per the plan or not? That needs to be find out. Okay, you need to find out whether the actual production is done as per planning or not. That is very much important. You need to check the performance of the department. Okay, what is the standard performance? We have set the standard of 100 cars to be get delivered or to be get completed in the entire month, and actually how many cars we have manufactured, that you need to check. That's why I've written there with standard and the actual performance. हमने 100 का टारगेट बनाया था, लेकिन हमने एक्चुअल में कितना डिलीवर किया? 95. So there's a deficiency of 5 cars. So why we won't able to deliver this 5 cars? That needs to be checked, that needs to be rectified. So there should not be any kind of deviation. If there is a deviation, you need to find out what is the reason behind for that deviation, and that deviation needs to be removed. Then you have work study, and in that you have a method study and a time study. Work study is one of the most important functions of a production management. Okay, it identifies the most effective means of achieving necessary functions by improving the existing and the proposed way of doing work. Okay, so standard times require the performance. So which method you are utilizing? Okay, what are the processes, what is the procedures, what which kind of material you are utilizing, what kind of machines you gonna use to complete this process, how many human resource you will be requiring to complete this process. Okay, human efforts का कितना input है, what will be the output, everything will be get measured in this method study. Second, you have a time study. In that time study, it is a kind of technique which is designed to understand how much time it will take for a qualified person to complete the task. एक क्वालिफाइड पर्सन को ये टास्क खत्म करने के लिए कितना वक्त लगेगा, this can be find out with the time study. And it will also help you to investigate, it will reduce the ineffective time. जो भी आप इनफेक्टिव टाइम है या जो आप टाइम वेस्ट कर रहे हो, वो सारा टाइम आप इसको इमिडिएटली रिमूव कर सकते हो. इट यू कैन एलिमिनेट दिस टाइम्स. दैट्स व्हाई वर्क स्टडी इज वेरी मच important. Then you have inventory, or you can say a stock control. It is none other than the stock, whatever you have manufactured inside the company, that needs to be maintained. Okay, as I said earlier to you, that the company should not make excessive production. There should not be a shortage of production. Two things they have to always keep in mind. If they are making an excessive production, they are blocking their finance. And secondly, if they are uh, not at par, they are not having maximum, you can say optimum resource manufacture, and there's a shortage in a market, then again they need to face a problem. So they have to maintain their inventory in a proper ways. So production will not take place as per schedule, and deliveries will surely get affected if the productions is not made appropriately. That's why you need to maintain the inventory. Then you have quality assurance and control. So quality is, as I said, is not depends upon the high price. Quality of each product and services needs to be checked. Okay, it is the major responsibilities of the organizations to make sure that whatever products and services you're manufacturing, it needs to be highly quality. आजकल क्या हो गया ना, the customers have become so sophisticated, customers have become so knowledgeable, they can immediately check the qualities of the product and service with the help of the Google. Okay, and the price. Okay, now I want the Apple phone with a 13 or 12, whatever. I can check immediate price on Google, Flipkart, Amazon, Mintra, n numbers of websites are available. And similarly, I can go a physical store and I can check कि इसका प्राइस क्या है. तो गुड क्वालिटी अश्योरेंस इज वेरी मच इंपॉर्टेंट. सी, प्राइस एक बार आपका प्रोडक्ट मार्केट में बिक जाता है, अगर उसका क्वालिटी अच्छा नहीं हुआ तो सेकेंड टाइम द कस्टमर विल नॉट कम टू यू टू परचेज दिस प्रोडक्ट. So the more important part that if you are charging, you need to charge good. You should not be charged excess, but you need to charge good. But at the same time, the assurance, the quality assurance is very much important. You should not, you cannot make any compromise with the qualities of the products. That is very much important. Then last you have maintenance and replacements. See, you need to make sure that 24 into 7 your machine should run in a proper way. But every single there's a one day in manufacturing industry on Fridays. Okay, more or less on Fridays there's a holiday. Okay, हमको तो Sundays को holidays मिलता है, but the बहुत सारे manufacturing industries में they give holidays on Friday because एक तो MIDC में लाइट जाती है वहाँ पे and they keep that day to do the maintenance part. So you can utilize that day for the maintenance of different parts, okay, or different machines, so that the next 6 or 7 days जो भी है वो 7 days आपका machines अच्छी तरह से चले. तो ऑयलिंग, ग्रीसिंग, मेंटेनिंग जो भी होगा that can be helped. So managers always do the routine check and have an efficient system for the continuous inspection. So they should always have a continuous inspections, then cleaning, oiling, maintenance of the machines. You need to prevent from breakdowns. See, if there's a breakdown happens inside the organization during the continuous process, you will be losing crores of rupees on a single day. अगर आपका मशीन 1 घंटे के लिए भी बंद हो जाता है तो आपने आपका करोड़ों का नुकसान करा लिया. You need to understand this. Okay, for that you need to have a proper maintenance, and wherever required you think that कि ये machine का अभी time हो गया है, you need to replace that machines. If your technologies whatever you are utilizing it is not good, it is not as per your requirement, you need to implement the new technology. That is more important. So did you understand the scope of production management, which is product selection and design, selection of production process, plant location, layout, material handling, production capacity, production planning, which has a routing and scheduling, the production control, which means the standard versus actual performance of the organization, the work study, inventory control, quality assurance and control, maintenance and replacements. Then you have the manufacturing slash production system. The production system is an organization, is that part which produces products of an organization. It involves the conversion functions by which goods and services are produced. Production is an organized activity, so every production system has an objective. The system transforms the various input to the useful output. There exists a feedback about the activities which is essential to control and improve the system performance. The management systems needs to interact with both internal and external environment. So the organization has to make sure that they have a regular interaction with the both the internal and the external environment of the मार्केट. ओके, तो इंटरनल आपका मार्केट होता है इंजीनियरिंग, मार्केटिंग, पर्सनल दैट इज HR, फाइनेंस, IT, operations, okay, logistics. This comes under your internal environment which is your in your control. Second, you have external environment, that is customers, suppliers, and you have a competitors which is beyond your control. Then you have classification of manufacturing, or you can say the production systems. So when you say about the production systems, there are two kinds of production systems you can see. First, you have intermediate production systems, and second, you have a continuous production systems. Intermediate production systems means where the production does not happens on a continuous basis. फॉर एग्जाम्पल पेप्सी. पेप्सी का अगर मैं आपको एग्जाम्पल दूँ तो वो कंटिन्यूस प्रोडक्शन होता है, बिकॉज यू हैव एन इनपुट एट वन एंड एंड पेप्सी, पहले आपके पास बॉटल आ जाएगी तो बॉटल पे लेबल लगेगा, उस पर पेप्सी रिफिल होगी, कैप लगेगा, उस पे seal होगा and it will get back into the box. So this happens on a continuous basis. So it is something like ये continuous mode पे चलता है. When you talk about like intermediate production like you can see there Bandra Worli sealing वहाँ पे production हो रहा है या plane का manufacturing है और you can say dam, airport, CST में जो मेट्रो स्टेशन अंडरग्राउंड मेट्रो स्टेशन का काम चल रहा है इट इज ऑल कम अंडर द इंटरमीडिएट प्रोडक्शन. दिस इंटरमीडिएट इसको इसलिए बोलते हैं बिकॉज इट हैज अ रेगुलर इंटरवल. once the project is over it is hand over to the concerned party and the company move to the different projects. इसे बोलते हैं हम लोग intermediate production. So it has a start, it initiates and it get halts on irregularly, okay, as or you can say a regular interval, and it is basically it is a demand and order of the customer. It depends upon the customer. For example goldsmith जो ज्वेलरी वाले होते हैं, ज्वेलरी वाले रेगुलर प्रोडक्शंस नहीं करते. रेगुलर प्रोडक्शन कैसे करेंगे बिकॉज दे शुड गेट अफोर्डेड. सो ज्वेलरी वाले जो प्रोडक्ट्स एंड सर्विसेज बनाते हैं वो कस्टमर के रिक्वायरमेंट के हिसाब से बनाते हैं. दे ask the customer the design, okay, the weight of the necklace or you can say the mangal sutra or you can say bangle, ring, whatever you want to get manufactured from the jeweler. They will ask you, they will customize it, the ornament, and they will put the order. So as per the requirement it will be get ordered and it will be delivered to you in specific time period. You can take an example of a tailor. You will give the cloth to the tailor and he will turn that cloth into shirt or a pant, okay, or salwar or kameez, whatever you give it to him. So it is all depends upon to the uh, in a regular interval happens on you place the order to the client you to the organizations and you get this time. And in that, in intermediate you have three kinds of productions. First you have a project production, second you have a job production, third you have a batch production. In continuous production you again has a three kinds of production, that is mass production, process productions, and you have an assembly production. So project productions you have already seen the photograph, okay, you can also see the photograph there कि एक साइड पे प्लेन बन रहा है, एक साइड पे ब्रिज बन रहा है, या यू कैन सी अ डैम, एयरपोर्ट. दिस कम्स अंडर द बिगर प्रोजेक्ट्स जो मेट्रो पे काम चल रहा है या यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर जो कलीना के बाहर जो ब्रिज का काम चल रहा है. इट्स ऑल कम्स अंडर द बिगर प्रोजेक्ट्स. So it you can say it is an intermediate production system. It is not a regular production system. जो अगर आप कलीना में रहे हो यूनिवर्सिटी के बाहर भी हो तो यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हो कि यहाँ पे ये जो पूरा ब्रिज का काम चल रहा है फ्रॉम SCLR टिल आई गेस वेस्टर्न एक्सप्रेस हाईवे तक. इट इज अ प्रोजेक्ट प्रोडक्शन. Okay, once this project production is formed, it is ready, it will deliver to the concerned party and the main company will get out of that. Okay, those there are various characteristics are there of this project production, that is it has a definite beginning and definite end. Yes, 100% this project will always and definitely will have a beginning and again it will have a definite end. तो ये चालू भी होगा और एक टाइम के बाद खत्म भी हो जाएगा. Second, it is a temporary activity. It is not something like happen on a regular basis. So it is a for a given period of time. Okay. Once the goal is achieved, the project is ceased and it is get exist from there. Then involvement of different agencies are also there. There are different kinds of agencies can be get involved in this. For example government होगा, different contractors रहेंगे, प्राइवेट कंपनीज का इन्वॉल्वमेंट होगा, तो डिफरेंट कंपनीज का यहाँ पे इन्वॉल्वमेंट होता है. And this different company will monitor the entire productions of the organizations. Then project also involves high technology and they will relay good amount in interdependency and they also make sure that कि यहाँ पे कुछ नया या यूनिक प्रॉब्लम वगैरह आ रहे हैं क्या, how we can solve that problem. Then again you have it is really relatively very complex, it is not so easy. So whenever you talk about like such kind of production process, it is not a simple activity, it is very complicated and you need to make sure that कि ये बहुत आसान नहीं है, ये बहुत ही कॉम्प्लेक्स है, it is difficult task, so it will take time. Then High cost. Yes, the cost of such kind of products production is very high. So it is advisable for the organization that whatever deadline is given to you, you need to complete that product, or you can say the production, on time. जितना आप डिले करोगे उतना ही कॉस्ट उस प्रोजेक्ट का बढ़ते जाएगा. तो इट इज़ नॉट एडवाइसेबल फॉर द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस टू increase the cost. Okay, then it is unique. A project is generally one of activity which is never repeated. अभी ये बैंड्रा वाली सीलिंग जो हमने बनाया है, या जो भी कंपनी ने बनाया है, वैसा बैंड्रा वाली सीलिंग वापस नहीं बनेगा. सो इट इज़ अ वेरी यूनिक प्रोजेक्ट. ओके, दैट्स वाई इट इज़ नॉट सेट टू बी द रूटीन वर्क. तो एक बार आपने बैंड्रा वाली सीलिंग बना लिया तो वैसे ही सीलिंग वापस नहीं बनेगा. इट इज़ यूनिक इन इट्स ओन नेचर. Then again it has a different network planning, like for example CPM and PERT. Okay, critical path method, or you can say program evaluation review techniques can be utilized in this. Different critical different techniques been utilized to make sure that smooth executions of the project should be happen. That is very much important. Then problems of personnel. Yes. Now what is personnel? Human resource. Human resource, or you can say the employees, are not the regular employees who are working for this project. ये प्रोजेक्ट के लिए लोग बाहर से मंगाते हैं, बाहर से अदर स्टेट से मंगाते हैं, या डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंट से मंगाते हैं. एंड इट इज़ फॉर टाइम बिंग. वंस द प्रोजेक्ट इज रेडी, इट इज़ हैंडेड ओवर, the personnel or the employees can go back to their respective department, or you can say the respective places. Then last you have non-uniform requirement resources. So whatever resources required, for example, cement, cranes, employees, money, okay, whatever resources is required to build or to complete this project, it is not uniform. मतलब हर दिन similar amount of resources लगेगा, इसका कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. Beginning, जब project का beginning होता है या जब project start होता है, the requirement of the resources are very less. As the project go ahead, okay, and they progress with the project, the requirement of the resources get increases. So there's a non-uniformity of the requirement of the resources is there into the project production. Okay, understood? Any doubt in this?
No, sir.
Easy to understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we'll stop here, and we'll continue the chapter in next lecture. Am I audible to you properly? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So I'll share this recording to you so you can see the recording once again. Okay, I'll share whatever recording is there. I've taken the entire lecture as recorded, and it will get to my email ID in few, like in 10 to 15 minutes. So once I get the recording, I'll upload this video on YouTube channel. Okay, you can see the entire video there. Okay. So we'll meet hopefully not tomorrow. If possible, on Friday we'll meet, and if there's a slot for me, I'll take the lecture on Friday. CRs, keep in touch with me, and wherever you find a slot, okay, for a production lecture, you can give, and make sure that you have two lectures at a time, so the two division at a times. तो जब मेरा रेगुलर लेक्चर नहीं होता है तो मैं वहाँ पे या जहाँ पे आपको एम्प्टी स्लॉट्स है तो वहाँ पे मैं आपका क्लास ले सकता हूँ. ओके, एंड डू नॉट वरी अबाउट योर सिलेबस, आई विल कंप्लीट ईच एंड एवरी यूनिट. ओके, सब सो रहे हैं या कोई जाग भी रहा है या किसी कोई सुन भी रहा है? होपफुली
Yes, sir, we are there.
Yes, sir.
ओके, ठीक है. सो थैंक यू सो मच. टेल मी इफ वी कैन मीट ऑन फ्राइडे. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच टू ऑल.